Hi guys, Alice Taylor down at Lytham Golf Academy, and today we're going to take a look and compare a range of irons from the Ping sets. So we're going to take the Ping iBlade, the i200 and the new G400. We're going to see what the kind of difference is, kind of which different kinds of players they're aimed at and how they perform differently, so that if you're looking for a new set of irons, which one would probably suit you best. And maybe for me, which would suit me best. So we're going to hit 5 real balls on GC quad, starting with the iBlade, then i200, then G400. Look at some numbers at the end, but as ever, I'll kind of put some ball speeds up on the screen as I'm hitting shots. I would stress, even though I'm going to use same shaft in each, AWT stiff, ½ inch longer, even though the current 7 irons, the G400 is 30.5 degrees, the i200 is 33, and the iBlade is 34 degrees. So quite a difference in loft. So it'll be interesting to see how they launch, how far they fly, how high they fly, and how much they spin. So like I said, we're going to start off with the blade, and it's a while since I've hit blade, and oof, it looks compact, we'll say, compared to some of the stuff I've been testing lately. And it's nice off the face. You know, it feels pretty soft. I mean, it's a 34-degree 7 iron as well, so I'm not expecting mind-blowing numbers off this one. But what I would be hoping for is consistency. And it feels nice. I mean, for me, it looks like it launches up in the air quite nicely. And I think certainly for me, if I was looking to put Ping stuff in my bag, not sure with my consistency nowadays whether I could go 3 iron in blades, but possibly certainly short irons. I think these would really appeal to me. And I don't think they feel like they don't hit the ball anywhere. I think it's nice, but these are going to be very much aimed at kind of maybe the better player, maybe someone who's looking to shape the ball, probably somebody who doesn't need that extra distance as well. I mean, we might be surprised when we look at the numbers as to how far it actually does make the ball go. But I like it, you know, I mean, Ping make great products. And I think they've got some really good stuff in their ranges now. So definitely got something for everybody. And possibly with some of the stuff now, maybe bridging that gap between kind of overall performance and looks, where it's maybe been a bit more of a trade-off with their stuff in the past. So let's go one more with iBlade. Good. Yeah, really nice. I'd take any of those shots. So let's take the blade off. Maybe go for something a little bit more forgiving. The good news is I haven't needed the forgiveness on those. So we'll go i200. So all the irons now with the same finish, so kind of the water resistant finish. Not sure why that's a massive thing with golf clubs. I haven't noticed any of my irons particularly being porous and soaking up the moisture, but a big thing that kind of water resistant, waterproof now. It's supposed to give a little bit more control with the ball. So i200, noticeably bigger. You know, I think certainly if you're not quite as good a ball striker, this would definitely appeal. And like I said, we've gone from 34 degrees of loft to 33 now in the i200. So just looks like a bigger version of the iBlade for me. So still looks nice behind the ball. And I mean, first shot, it just seems to go pretty much the same as the blade. So, you know, still feels relatively soft, doesn't feel like it's really kind of exploding off the face like some of the modern stuff out there. But again, I don't think this model is aimed at that golfer. And I've had quite a few fittings this year where guys have kind of split between i200 and iBlade. maybe kind of mid to longer irons have stayed into this. Touch more offset, just that little bit more forgiveness in the back, and maybe a bit more confidence inspiring when they get into those longer irons. Again, it feels very easy to hit. You know, yes, I'm only testing round 7-iron, so hopefully my ball striking wouldn't be a million miles out with a 7-iron. We don't need to make any comments on that below. So last couple with i200. Again, good high, decent length, decent accuracy. I think accuracy still comes more down to me than the club. And one final one with i200. And again, yeah, I really like that. I mean, does it feel any different to the iBlade? Not for me. Does it look a bit more forgiving? Yeah, it looks bigger and chunkier, which I think would inspire that bit of confidence. Like I said, I can understand why guys split the set. You know, I think the iBlade looks fantastic, fits my eye. But certainly as you get into those longer clubs, a little bit more forgiveness, I don't think would be the worst thing in the world. And then we go on to the newest addition to the Ping family, G400. Now this is where we see a big jump. So we've had 34 degree in iBlade, 33 in i200, 30.5 in G400. Now, designed very differently. Again, a bit bigger, a little bit more offset, much more kind of mass down at the bottom of the club head, bit of multi-material in the back to help with kind of sound. So certainly with G400, you can see the similarity now as you run through the irons, that they're starting to look, that finish is the same, so starting to look more similar. You might even get, guys, strange as it sounds, maybe having a 3-iron in this, or 3 or 4-iron in G400, maybe 5, 6, 7 in i200s, blade down from there. I don't know, whatever works for you. But let's go last 5 shots, G400, and see how this compares to the other two. I mean, I think that's noticeably different off the club face. Noise, I think, is different. I mean, I'm not looking at my numbers on my iPad yet, but that seemed considerably further. Now, we'll look at numbers in a minute, but are we getting that just off ball speed, or are we getting that off different spin? We'd expect more ball speed and less spin off something with less static loft. But how is it at impact? Does it still have less loft at impact? That's a real key factor with a lot of guys. Again, hits it way up in the air. Very easy to hit. Think we've only had these in a week, already done a few sets of these, and as ever, a lot of excitement from the guys who already play Ping stuff. Yeah, and definitely for me, I think the guy who is looking to get the ball in the air a bit more, like I said when I did the review video on this, I think this is going to tick a lot of boxes for a lot of guys. Looks and feel are improved. Performance, I think, over G is an improvement. And I like that. Just not sure it quite fits my eye. But let's go one last one with G400. I don't think guys looking for this are too bothered about shaping the ball and controlling trajectory. This is getting more into that club of something that hits it a long way, tries to stop it with height. So one final one. Yeah, again, really nice. Okay guys, so we've hit 5 good solid ones with iBlade, i200 and G400. Let's look at some numbers and talk about the difference in performance. So iBlade, we've got ball speed average of 120 mile an hour, launching at just under 20 degrees, spinning at 6,400, and carrying 167. So for me, decent ball speed from something with 34 degrees of loft. Launching probably a fraction higher than I would normally launch a 7-iron. Spin between 6,000 and 7,000, which I would quite happily accept with a 7-iron. And a carry distance of 167, maybe a couple of yards back of where I would normally look for 7-iron. But all in all, very, very good. So we move across onto i200. We keep that ball speed at 120. Launch is actually slightly lower, which it was a degree less lofted, but launched 0.7 degrees lower. Actually spun more, which was interesting. You know, maybe just very, very slightly down to strike. And with having that little bit more spin, actually the ball went a little bit shorter. So for me, i200 probably didn't perform quite as well as I would like iBlade to perform. But then we see the big jump. We go from 33 degrees to 30.5, and the ball speed jumps from 120 to 124. Despite having less loft, the launch angle goes from 19.2 to 19.8, so it launches higher. The spin drops down, so we're down to 5,000, which is low, certainly bottom end. I could argue that 30.5 is more like a 6-iron, so maybe we'd get away with that spin, but it's hitting it higher at 38 yard peak height, but a massive difference in carry at 180 yards over 164 and 167. Right then guys, so when we looked at the numbers, for me, iBlade and i200, kind of very, very similar on performance, and I kind of suppose you'd expect that. You'd probably expect the i200 to be a bit more forgiving. Cavity in the back, kind of you'll get away with those miss hits. But probably for me personally, i200, there was a little bit too much spin. Now I could argue I'd maybe get a little bit of loft taken off, which would help with that and maybe pick up a few yards. But certainly at iBlade or i200, for me personally, I'd probably lean towards the iBlade, because it'd also give me that ability to maybe shape the ball a bit better and control trajectory. But for the guys who are, like I said, are wanting to get the ball in the air and get a little bit more distance, it's a massive difference going from Blade to i200 to G400. I mean, you know, over a club longer, I mean a club and a half longer. Yes, the loft's stronger, which I think is keeping the spin off, but we're still launching the ball high and hitting it very, very high. So when we look at who's going to go for what, the mass market out of these three will be G400. Then I think you'll get your guy who wants the better players club, who feels his ball striking isn't quite there, who will go i200. But I think the fact that G400 looks a bit more similar, I think you'll see guys splitting mid and long irons with G400 into i200 for the shorter stuff. But your more purist guys who want to play ping stuff will still stick into that iBlade to give them that ability to work the ball a little bit more. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope if you're looking for ping irons, it's given you a bit of an insight as to what's different about the different clubs and how they perform differently. If you've enjoyed the video, like and share it. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.